Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission here is always pretty simple. We take a mountain of source material, we pull out the most important insights, and we give you the shortcut to, being truly well informed.
And today we're getting into T.J. Payne's high-stakes thriller, Intercepts.
Right. And this is a big one.
Oh, yeah. This is not just some fast-paced government conspiracy novel.
Huh.
I mean, it is that, but it's also a really terrifying exploration of technological ethics.
Uh-huh.
It looks at the sinister cost of unlocking hidden mental abilities through human experimentation and how that kind of institutionalized horror just bleeds into the sanctity of a man's home.
Exactly. So our focus today is on Joe Gerhardt. He's a facility supervisor, and his professional life at this covert government facility it violently collides with a devastating personal crisis.
And the real twist is that the monstrous thing they unleash in the lab, it doesn't stay there.
No, it infects both worlds. So we're going to unpack the conflict between, that cold corporate bureaucracy and just basic human integrity.
And how the line between psychological trauma and a very real, very lethal external threat just completely evaporates.
So let's start where all the madness begins. The facility.
It's run by this detached bureaucratic entity known only as the company. And you should picture those sterile, almost subterranean environments.
Fluorescent lights, artificial air.
No windows, absolutely. It's designed to be oppressive. I mean, it isolates the staff, but more importantly, it isolates the subjects.
And those subjects, they call them the antennas.
Right. These are people undergoing extreme, cruel sensory deprivation. They're drugged, stripped of their identity.
I read that they sometimes even remove scars or tattoos.
They do, to erase who they were. And the staff have this really unsettling nickname for where they're kept, the aquarium.
And Joe, the supervisor, he hates that term.
He does. He feels that calling it the aquarium diminishes their humanity, or as he puts it, diminishes the importance of their subjects. He's a blue-collar guy from West Virginia, kind of forced into this high-tech nightmare.
And we get a sense of this tension immediately, right in Chapter 1. We see it through the eyes of an orderly named Carson.
Yeah, Carson is already stressed out, but his frustration starts with something really mundane. It's bureaucracy.
The equipment, right.
The equipment. He's complaining about these cumbersome work carts he calls diaper pails because they're such a pain. It's a small thing, but it really humanizes the staff.
But his complaints about the carts they vanish because one of the subjects, Patient Bishop, who is completely incapacitated,
suddenly speaks.
Yeah.
And the shift is immediate and terrifying.
The words are just chilling, and they're aimed right at Joe's personal life. I see you.
He loves you, Kate. You are his weakness. And then she doesn't just speak. She launches this savage, brutal attack on Carson.
Claws him, and it leads to a loss of life. The chaos begins right there.
And this is where Joe Gerhardt steps in, the big man from West Virginia, trying to manage this crisis. And despite the carnage, his first instinct is a moral one.
He orders non-lethal force only.
That decision tells you everything you need to know about him. Joe sees his staff as his brothers and sisters. He feels this deep duty to protect them, to hold on to some kind of integrity, even when facing this primal threat.
And what's so fascinating is how the book immediately mirrors this professional chaos with this absolutely devastating personal tragedy for Joe.
Yeah, we jump to Chapter 18, and his life is just completely derailed. He gets the news that his ex-wife, Kate, has died by suicide.
But it's not that simple, is it?
Not at all. Joe ends up watching the body cam footage, and he sees Kate moments before her death coming out of her house, totally distressed, holding a gun she hated.
And screaming that someone was in the house with her.
Exactly. So she wasn't just distressed. She was being persecuted by something, a threat that Joe is starting to realize is all too real.
And of course, this sends their daughter, Riley, into a complete spiral. So they retreat to their isolated farmland in West Virginia. They call it the Quiet Zone.
And we should clarify, the Quiet Zone isn't just a metaphor for them not talking.
No, it's a real thing.
It's a literal geographical communication barrier. No radio signals, no cell service. And this physical isolation just mirrors Riley's psychological isolation. It makes her more vulnerable.
And almost immediately, Riley starts seeing things. She's driving and spots this ghostly black-haired woman in a white hospital gown on the side of the road.
But she's so afraid of showing any more vulnerability to her dad that she just brushes it off, says it's a scarecrow.
But it doesn't stay outside.
No, it escalates. The figure appears in her bedroom. And the horror is so personal. The woman is hurting herself, clawing at her own face and screaming, "I can't feel it."
So Riley is now questioning her own sanity.
And this is where the two plot lines just slam together.
Yeah.
At the facility, Joe is watching the security footage of Carson's attack, and he has this sickening realization.
The woman haunting his daughter.
It's Bishop. The entity that killed Carson is the same one tormenting his child hundreds of miles away.
Dr. Hannah Chow confirms it, right? She gives him the technical scientific reason for this. The supernatural event.
She does. Bishop, the antenna, has gained this terrifying ability to manipulate the senses. She can implant visions or hallucinations directly into someone's mind.
So Riley's trauma isn't just grief. It's not in her head, not really. It's an external, targeted psychic assault.
It's psychological warfare. It's not just reading minds, it's overwriting someone's reality so convincingly that they believe they're going insane. Or, in Cade's case, they act on a threat that feels completely real.
And while all this is happening, the organizational hammer falls.
Of course. Inspector Javier Aguirre arrives, a meticulous, by-the-book company man sent to review the facility after Carson's death.
And he's not subtle. He immediately brings up Joe's personal situation, Kate's death, and even suggests a psych evil for Riley.
Which just shows you the terrifying reach of the company's surveillance. They know everything. They're watching Joe's personal collapse because he could compromise their asset.
And this is where we see that internal battle for humanity. Joe and Hannah, they're giving the antennas names: Bishop, Pharaoh.
It's a quiet little act of defiance against the policy of just using numbers.
And Aguirre, he lets it slide, but only for a bit. His focus is on the science, which leads to this horrifying procedure, the tuning session.
Yeah, and this is where you see the absolute ruthlessness of their ambition. They've got Bishop secured, and they're holding her eyes open with these, the book calls them grotesque hooks.
They're not trying to deprive her senses here. They're trying to bombard them.
Exactly. They flood her with sounds and images related to a target, a man named Victor Amanoff. It is torture, pure and simple, disguised as research.
And Bishop is screaming in agony, but
Aguirre's watching with this intrigued little grin. He's just pushing the technician for more intensity.
That grin is everything. It's the whole philosophy of the company in one expression. That knowledge, that security justifies any violation.
And this all leads to the critical turning point for Riley. Bishop performs this ultimate act of psychic betrayal.
Riley's talking with Hannah Chow, the doctor.
And Bishop implants a vision into Riley's mind. It's devastating. The apparition of a lifeless baby, Ashley, who was Hannah's child that she lost years ago.
And Riley connects the dots. She realizes Hannah had an affair with her dad, which helped destroy her parents' marriage.
And that Bishop is weaponizing this history. This is the genius of Bishop's attack. She got inside Joe's head, found all his guilt and secrets, and used them to drive Kate to suicide. And now she's using that same pain against Riley.
That's what finally pushes Joe over the edge.
It has to. He knows the company won't protect Riley. He says they'll lock Riley up, they'll study her. He believes the only way to save her is to just let the chaos out.
Okay, but let's pause on that choice. Is he a hero protecting his family? Or is he, a monster for unleashing these psychic weapons on the world?
Well, from his perspective, it's an act of selfless desperation. The company is this inescapable evil that will institutionalize his daughter. Unleashing the antennas is a huge gamble, but it's a gamble to remove the company's control for good.
He's acting in self-defense.
For his family, yes. And the plan is brutal. He orders a full system reset to kill the cameras. He attacks Aguirre, gets a hidden gun.
And he and Hannah go down to cut the gas lines feeding the antenna cells.
Their logic is if they starve them of the gas that keeps them suppressed, maybe it will break the torment.
But the immediate consequence is catastrophic.
Oh, it's a meltdown. The antennas, hit with raw reality for the first time, break free, total chaos.
And then Security Chief Tyler and his team show up.
And this is where the psychic manipulation becomes lethally brilliant. The second they step into that psychic field, Bishop's power just grabs them. Tyler's team starts hallucinating their own colleagues.
They see Hannah and the other staff as antennas.
And they open fire on each other. Hannah's screaming, "Stop! Stop!" But it's no use. It's this horrific scene of friendly fire. The facility's own mission literally causes its people to destroy themselves.
And Joe. His fate is just agonizing.
He's left mangled in a cell. But in his last moments, the antennas gather around him, and Riley is there. And they thank him. They thank him for setting them free.
And then they deliver that twisted piece of philosophy, that the pain he endured watching his family suffer, a pain they inflicted.
They call it a gift, a foundation to guide him in the darkness. It's this completely inverted moral code where extreme suffering is actually constructive. It's a prerequisite for enlightenment.
So in the official report, it's all cleaned up. Joe and Hannah Chow died in a tragic accident.
But the company isn't done. Aguirre comes back. He finds Riley, brings her dog Moby, which is a small gesture of humanity.
But then he pulls out a bottle of pills.
Right. He says they'll help her forget the painful memories. He's offering her an easy way out, the company's final act of control, just chemically suppress the inconvenient truth.
But Riley has this inner voice, which she thinks is her dad, and the comfort of her dog. She takes the pill. She chooses to step into the unknown.
And we see her a year later. She graduates, still an outcast. Some kids call her Skizzy G, which is just horrible. But she's committed to going to Gonzaga University.
She sees it as a chance to start anew, to reinvent herself. And she's still guided by that inner voice, the voice of her parents' love.
The whole deep dive really shows this horrifying collision, between technological ambition and just raw primal integrity. Joe sacrificed everything because he put his daughter above that entire bureaucratic machine.
Which leaves us with the question of that final voice, Riley's guide. The book suggests it could just be her subconscious, the resilient part of her mind fighting back.
Or maybe it's something more. The lingering presence of her father, of her parents' love, acting as a genuine foundation for her.
And if external forces like Bishop can so profoundly distort our reality, is it possible that profound emotional bonds, our deepest connections, can become the foundation for a new, a more resilient reality?
It raises a powerful question for you to think about. When you're going through your own darkest times, what hidden strengths, what quiet inner voices are you maybe dismissing as just coincidence or imagination?
When they might actually be your most crucial guide.
That's a deep thought to leave you with, long after the chaos has subsided.
That was the deep dive. We'll see you next time.